Welcome to an episode of You Haven't Read What? I'm Krista.
And I'm Christina. Join us to explore unique genres, childhood favorites, and literary classics as we dive into each other's favorite reads.
Where one of us is very familiar with the book, the other is reading for the very first time. Let's go!
Hello!
Hello!
Hello. We're being mean to Bob.
We're being mean and we're a little loopy and,
Right.
you know, whatever. We're supposed to get snow tomorrow that I'm a little excited about.
Yeah.
This time I have a dog causing issues. He's trying to eat my wrapping paper.
Water keeps asking if she can stay home from school tomorrow because of all the snow. And I was like, no, this is not how that's going to work.
It's not enough snow, kids. Sorry.
Nope. Not at all.
Sorry, not sorry.
Right? Oh, man.
Oh, well.
Well,
Yes.
shall we get
Hello, dipstick.
started from last week's stuff?
We shall. So, last week, did I have this right? Yes, we did chapters 31 and 32, which were OWLs and Out of the Fire.
Woohoo.
So this week, chapter 33 and 34, which were both, yes. Fight and Flight and the Department of Mysteries.
Woohoo. Yeah.
So my summary for 33 was Hermione takes Umbridge into the forest and the crew escape the goon squad.
Right. Yeah. This chapter, at the very beginning of this chapter, was pissing me off.
Yeah. So hopefully on a very slightly lighter note,
Yeah.
as Harry's walking out with Umbridge and Hermione, he makes note that like 20 feet away in the Great Hall, everyone is still just like having dinner and talking and living their normal lives, whereas
Right.
like the world is crashing down around him.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know this feeling. Like, have you ever had that feeling that like something is happening and like other people are just going about their day because it doesn't affect them?
Exactly. Like nobody else around you really understands whatever is going on with you, in that way. Yeah.
Yeah. And it had me thinking that I was like, not always a bad thing, but like on a positive thing, I was like, I remember when I was, pregnant with both kids, but especially the first, like, I'm excited. I'm busting at the seams, but I can't tell anybody. And everyone else is just living their lives. And I'm over here like,
Yep, exactly. Yep.
and so I was thinking about that or when, little dude and I got in a car accident and like, I am freaking out. We were okay. Everyone was okay, but we still had to go to the hospital and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And like, then going home and being like, okay, my car is totaled. I need to replace 2 car seats. I need to make sure, keep an eye on both little dude and I tonight to make sure everyone's okay. Probably give him Tylenol because he's going to be sore.
Right.
And all this. And like, everyone's outside just playing and like living their lives and driving by us. And I'm just like, and like,
Yep.
my brain is exploding.
Right. It's kind of like when you're like a kid and you're grounded for like a week and everybody else is out, enjoying life without you.
Just doing whatever, man.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, whew, that is you're he's standing on my headphone wire, pulling my headphones off.
That's funny.
Oh, yes, I see you. You just want all the attention right now.
Right. He knows he's been naughty. So
He has been naughty. Well, he's literally wrapping himself up in my cable now.
that's funny.
So yeah, let's get into the wonderful human being that Dolores Umbridge is. Take it away, Christina.
So at the beginning, like, I find it funny that Hermione is just walking as fast as she possibly can. And like, he knows like her little legs can't keep up. I'm like, that's so funny. But as they get closer and closer, she's like, oh, we're going to Hagrid's hut. And then Hermione's like, no, like, wouldn't you be afraid of him touching something and like something happening? And she's like, oh yeah, those half breeds or whatever she says. But then she realizes that they're going into the Forbidden Forest. And it made me laugh because I was like, she's so nervous to go in there. And it makes me wonder, didn't she go to Hogwarts as a kid?
Yes.
Okay. So like she obviously knew that she wasn't supposed to go into the Forbidden Forest when she was a kid. And she's a Slytherin. I'm sure she went in there. So she's got to know at least something about, what's in there.
She might have, but I mean, as far as we know, even Malfoy's, from the first book, is a little afraid of the Forbidden Forest because there's werewolves. And,
yeah. He's only been back into the forest 3 times.
Harry?
No, Malfoy. He went in
3 times
at the beginning, right?
Book 1, detention.
And then they go on a field trip for the
So a lot of those with the classes and stuff, they're kind of on the edge of the Forbidden Forest.
Okay, what about with
really in the forest.
Dragons? And they have the big when Harry is having to go through like all of the
Triwizard Tournament?
Yeah, the Triwizard stuff. They were in the Forbidden Forest for that because the dragons were in there.
Yeah, Malfoy wasn't with them.
But he would have been in the stands, and the stands were right around it.
Oh, they were on the edge of the forest.
Oh, see, it made it sound like they were in there. Like it was a big, thing.
Yeah. No, they're, again, kind of on the edge.
Okay. Well, I guess in my mind, that makes them, go in there more. But whatever. Anyways, Umbridge is super nervous. And then I noticed, I thought Hermione was going towards Grop. But instead, Harry notices that she's going towards Aragog. But she wasn't a part of that. Yeah, exactly. Only Ron does, who's afraid of spiders. Of course.
Of course. Why can't we follow the butterflies?
Right. But then I noticed she's making noise on purpose. Like she's literally thrashing herself through. And she's not telling anybody to be quiet. But Harry is noticing this and is like, dude, come on.
Shush.
Yeah. And she goes, no, I want this. And I'm like, who does she think's going to come out? And
exactly who does.
The centaurs. I was surprised that the centaurs come out. Okay. I'm not surprised that the centaurs came out. I'm surprised that was the direction Hermione was kind of going. Is hoping that they were going to come. Because of the fact that we already know that they were warned not to come back, especially with Hagrid. And so I'm like, why would we want to meet up with them again? You know what I mean? But yeah, so I was really weirded out about that. But why couldn't Umbridge just shut up? Read the... I wrote, shut up, Umbridge. Seriously, read the forest. Not their room, because they're not in a room. They're in the forest. I was like, read the forest. Come on. Why are we trying to stun people? Why are we being rude? Why? You could, she could have
how to be nice.
She could have talked her way out of being in there. And yet, why make them even angrier every time? Making them just pissed
even off. Around this, we have 2 other very character building pieces in that. First of all, Ron or not Ron, either Harry or Hermione, I think it's Harry, asks, hey, if we're going to be in front, can I have your wand? And she says, the ministry puts a higher value on my life than yours. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I kind of skipped over all that stuff because it was making me super angry. Especially with... We don't get political on this show, but with everything that has been going on in the news as of January 20th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, all of that, which is when we're recording, and then her using Harry as a shield and all of that stuff, it made me really angry reading this chapter at the beginning.
So that's the next thing is obviously, I was gonna say, her using the kids as a shield. It's like, whereas right now we're using kids as bait. Anyway,
which like for anybody that is listening to us outside or inside of the United States, we don't agree with a lot of stuff going on. I just want to put that out there. But like, yeah,
it's not clear. We don't use kids as bait.
No, we don't. I mean, there's my own personal trauma with that kind of stuff. And so it kind of gets to a point where you're just like, why are we writing this kind of stuff? Like, why are we doing this? And I get it's because Umbridge is supposed to be portrayed as like this higher, almighty kind of personality. But at the same time, it's one of those things from just like, okay, like she also has a brain. Like, let's write her with a slight brain. You know what I mean?
So this is like, definitely one of those things that on a slightly lighter note, only slightly, that go around, the Facebooks and the Instagrams and whatever is like, pick who was the worst villain. Right. And, it's either heart or thumbs up, and one is Voldemort, the other's Umbridge. And it's a lot of times it's like, Umbridge is almost worse than Voldemort.
In some ways. Yes.
Because she's terrible.
Yeah. So we get her being stupid
to the centaurs.
Yep, she's being stupid to the centaurs. We get all of that. I like the fact that Umbridge, her wand gets dropped, and then one of the centaurs literally snaps it in half, and it's broken now. It's like, that's great news.
I made a typo in my notes. Orito. But I meant to write no more wand, and off she goes. I wrote no more want.
Yeah.
I no more want.
Right.
And off she goes. Just read my notes and I was like, oh, that's funny.
That is funny.
The centaur's fighting back though.
Yes.
Especially with her use of quote near human intelligence. And they're like, oh no, your intelligence doesn't even begin to compare to ours.
And Hermione's trying to warn her, like, dude, shush, be quiet for a minute. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like Hermione's like, don't get me wrong, I want this to work, but also, this is working too well.
Well, it's almost getting to a point where like Hermione's like, I wanted this to happen or to work, but at the same time, like it's getting to a point where it's becoming dangerous because of Umbridge and
Hermione's afraid she's about to be able to see Thestrals.
Right. Yeah. So Bane takes off with Umbridge, and I'm like, what are they going to do to her?
I don't care.
Because her mouth is going to keep running, and you know it. And
now she's defenseless.
Yes. And well, sort of, because they can still do some magic without their wands. But it's not as good.
Can't do anything great.
Yeah. So I was just like, what's going to happen to Umbridge now? Like, do we hear about her again? Or is she out there and done with? I don't know.
That's what we will find out. But also, again, I think that is part of the cleverness in how this chapter and the chapter before are written, is to make it so that you don't care what happens to her. Right. You want to see her gone. You just don't care.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you cared at all, like that'd be kind of dark.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the author did a clever job villainizing her past redemption, basically.
Yeah.
In a chapter and a half.
Yeah. True.
She's been, obviously with the detentions and all that, like she's been awful.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
This escalated it to a point of you're non-redeemable at this point.
Well, and Because in the last chapter there, she's like talking about literally using like dark magic on the kids and not giving a crap about doing that. So yeah. Okay, so Grop.
This plan almost backfires on Hermione.
I know. So they get caught up with the centaurs, and the centaurs are like, well, we don't hurt fowls. And then Hermione also can't shut her mouth at all. And I'm like, dude, just stop. And like Harry's like basically looking at her like, shut up. Come on.
Like, shh.
And now they're like, well, why don't we take them with her?
Take them with us.
Yeah. But Grop gets free and is looking for
He's looking for Hagrid.
Yep. And I loved that. I loved that he was trying to say his name and everything. And like, so it reminded me of the old school Jack and the Beanstalk movie where the big giant kind of like bends over and is like looking at why can I only think of Mickey Mouse? This is not what I'm thinking. Oh my God. He like bends over and then he like keeps like bending over to kind of like keep looking and stuff. And it kind of reminded me of that when it came to Grop, like bending the trees and basically seeing all these centaurs and going, okay, none of you are Hagrid. Like, and then kind of notices.
I know Hermione.
Yeah. And goes, Hermie. And I'm like, I love that. But then he's like trying to go to pick them up. And the centaurs don't realize this, which if they were of superior knowledge, they would understand that like they're trying, like this big giant is just trying to get to his friend. And
well, keep in mind, they also, I mean, he says it, they also don't like him. He's not welcome there. So it's also, we've
dealt with him for long enough.
We've dealt with him for long enough. And also we have staken claim to these humans. Like, what are you trying to do?
True. Yeah, I can see that. But then he gets a bunch of arrows to the face, and now he's like chasing all the centaurs, you know, like, and all I can think of is like a kid, like Toy Story style, a kid like going after all the little army men and horses, you know what I mean? And like tossing them aside.
Flinging.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yep. And so I was like, okay. I envisioned so many different scenarios with that within that little bit of time. Cause like even in Stitch, like he pretends to be King Kong, you know, and destroys the city or whatever. But yeah, so I just thought that was funny. But then Hermione and Ron are no longer with the centaurs because of Grop, like chasing after
Hermione
them.
And Harry, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I read the word Ron. Hermione and Harry. And so they're like, okay, cool. Like, we're out.
Like, see ya.
Right.
But then Harry's a little mad at Hermione about this plan because one, it did take a lot of time, and two, it almost backfired and really didn't work. But he's a little pissed at her, but I was like, did bro have a better idea?
Right.
Like it worked.
Nobody else thought of anything. Like there were literally 6 people in there. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, no, I mean, yeah, sure. You can be a little annoyed, but at the end of the day, like she kind of saved your butt.
For sure. And then we have Ron, Neville, Luna, and Ginny like just walking into the forest.
My notes say RLGN escaped.
Right?
I wasn't writing out all their names.
No. But it was like, okay, one of them has a split lip. One of them looks like he's bruised. Like they're all disheveled. And
they're a little worse for the wear.
Yeah. And I just find it funny. And then like to hear what they did. And I was like, heck yes. Yes. And they got the wands. Like, what?
Well done, my friends. Well done.
Malfoy is going to be pissed.
I love it.
Yes,
I
it's
love
amazing.
So is it fair that Harry and Ron are so worried about everyone else coming?
Yes.
Why do you think they're worried?
So I think Ron is mostly worried because like his little sister is trying to join. You can't blame him for that. Now, when it comes to Hermione's basically been a part of the pack between the three of them forever. As far as like Neville and Luna, like
I don't think they trust him.
Kind of. I don't know if it's that Harry doesn't trust them necessarily. I think Ron just finds Luna too odd and Neville to be Neville. And when you really look at it, though, in this book, Neville has grown. It's to be a completely different character now. And so, like, to me, it's one of those things where, like, it's really hard. So, like, my little brother, I hardly ever use his nickname. I always say his full name. And it's one of those things that it's hard for me to go, okay, like he doesn't prefer that. He prefers his nickname or whatever. So like you think about it with Ron, Hermione, and Harry, and Neville has always been the shy kid, the kid that, you know, gets his feet locked or his legs locked by, you know, or does stupid things. Right. He's not able to do certain things. And ever since he stood up to them, and he was part of the DA and all of that stuff, I think he has just become a completely different character. And so I don't know that they realize that yet, if that makes sense, you know? But I think Ron just doesn't want Ginny to come because it's his little sister, you know? He wants to protect him. And Harry doesn't want anybody to come because Cedric. Like he knows what's capable, what could happen. And he doesn't want to see his friends like that.
Yeah, I completely agree that I was going to say, I think Harry doesn't want to put anyone else in harm's way. I think he even struggles with Ron and Hermione coming, but he's kind of accepted that by this point.
Yes, I think with Ron and Hermione, it's one of those things where, like, again, they've been a part of almost all of the different things that have happened, except the thing with Cedric. And I honestly do think that the whole thing with Cedric is where he's like, he took a turning point and was like, maybe I need to step back. Maybe I need to not have anybody, you know, coming with, because I know what is about to happen, kind of a thing.
Well, and even in the third book, I mean, Ron got fairly hurt.
Yeah, he did.
Hermione almost died in the second.
Yep.
Like
Ginny almost died in the second.
Yeah.
And then you've got in the first one, Ron gets really hurt in the chess game. So like, like it's one of those things, but now that he knows that Voldemort's back, he knows what Voldemort is capable of. And I think that's what scares him the most about people wanting to help him at this point, which is why I think part of his anger is because he knows what is like, what's capable of what's coming.
It's kind of a no one is taking me seriously.
Yep.
But I think also in their souls, everyone wants to come. Everyone knows what they're getting into, and everyone is aware of that. Yep. Probably Ginny most of all, followed by Neville. Yeah. Luna's the only one that has not been any part of anything and has no family members that we know of that have been killed or, you know, severely maimed by Death Eaters. So like, she's probably the least, I'm going to say understanding. That's kind of a strong word. Yeah. But kind of,
the least of knowledgeable of them.
Yeah. Yep. Of all of them. But yeah, it's interesting that they all have their different motives.
For sure.
But yeah, it's going to lead to Let's go fly.
Yeah, which I was like, okay. So my thought was that they were going to call the brooms like he did in the wizard tournament, where they just like call all the brooms to them, and yeah, mine's under lock and key with a troll, but like it's still going to come to them or whatever. So I was thinking that. I was not thinking the Thestrals. But I also find it funny that like they do take those because only 3 of them can see them.
So let's move into our next chapter.
Right. I just am like, okay. Well, hold on before we go into the next one. So
Yes.
only the 3 of them can see them, but all 3 of those get up onto the Thestrals without actually helping the other 3. And I thought that was interesting until they go, but we can't see them, and Luna gets down to help them. Now, what are Hermione, Ron, and Ginny feeling? Are they feeling the horses, the Thestrals, or are they not able to feel it? Like, do they just look down? Like, obviously they look down and their legs are wide, their arms are wide, and they're just literally flying. But like, can they at least feel them?
Yeah.
I mean, I would
feel
hope
the
so.
pressure pushing back.
Okay. And then they just leave. They just go. Like, they're up in the air. And now we get into your next chapter.
So chapter 34, my little summary. We fly to London. We get lost in the Department of Mysteries and we get busted.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun. Just literally what I wrote at the end of this chapter. I wrote dun, dun, dun in the book. Which will be fun when, thing 1 eventually gets this book. And she's reading me like,
what?
Yeah. Watching my mom write. So I asked, would you fly on something you couldn't see?
I think so. I think that'd be very much like skydiving in a way without the parachute, if that makes sense. They all have wands though, so they could all figure out a way to make themselves land without a splat. For a lack of better way of saying it. But I mean, it would be a lot like parachuting in a way. You're just not going down, you're just going straight. So, I mean, yeah, I think so. I've always wanted to go parachuting. But I mean, my husband does not. So he's like, I learned how to fly the planes and the helicopters so that I do not have to go out of one. Yeah.
I can stay in it.
Yep, exactly.
My mom took my brother for his 21st birthday.
Nice.
And I didn't live in the area at that point, so it didn't matter. But I was like, I'm good with my feet on the ground.
Yeah. My best friend, or my mom's best friend, she had a when I turned 60 list.
Nice.
So she did a hot air balloon. She went skydiving. I think she was like 62 when she went skydiving, maybe 63.
That's awesome.
She's got like all of these things that she wants to do. They went on like this like mail ship to go from like one country all the way up to see all the northern lights and everything.
That's cool.
And it took them like a month to do because it's a mail ship. Like literally it's carrying mail to these little cities that rarely ever get it. Yeah. And they stopped every day for a couple of hours in each place so that they could get the mail situated and all this stuff. And
that'd be amazing. I'm in. I would do that.
And she's like, it was cold though. So like you are wearing all of the, in case super you go bulky overboard stuff, because they don't, it's not like a cruise. They don't have all of that stuff. And so you're wearing your literal like winter gear underneath, lots of layers and stuff. And then you've got this big old inflatable thing attached to it all times. And so like I could see like adding something like flying on a Thestral as a thing for me, maybe when I'm a little older. Or maybe when I was younger and mortality had no effect on you. Right.
Well, so that's a nice segue into my next point is Harry's a little snippy at this point. In fairness, he just wants to get going.
This whole book.
But, yeah, I told you at the beginning of the book, welcome to Harry Potter and the Year of Shouty Harry.
Yeah.
But he turns to Ron and makes a little snippy and he says, better hope it stays invisible. And I was like, yikes. Like, that's a little morbid. Hello, Olive.
She's chewing on things. So I had to figure out what she was chewing on.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I think mine finally went and laid down.
Nice.
But yeah, this like you're already hedging your bets here of you really hope the other three can't see Thrustrals by the time the night is over.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like he even says that. He's like,
yeah,
don't wish for that, you dummy. Like, I wish I could see it. No, you don't. Like, this is the second time that you've said something stupid like this. Come on, people. I mean, the first time was Hermione. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, yeah, same idea.
Yeah.
Then you get this note of this blood red sunset. I was like, man, this is not setting the scene great.
No, it's definitely not.
Now, in fairness, I did look up that little saying that's something about oh shoot, I did look it up, but it's something about like red sky at night, sailor's delight, red sky in the morning, sailor's mourning, like sad, MOURING.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, well, at least if you're going by old sailing tactics, red sky at night's actually good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. So the telephone thing, because everybody's weirded out about this telephone. And
I mean, it's a very small phone booth.
Right. But the telephone lady makes me laugh because she's just like very just like direct and to the point, and how she just like sends them their little printed paper with their name and rescue mission.
I was cracking up at that.
I was like, why did
a little badge?
Well, like, why did she ask questions? Like,
I think it's an automated thing.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
I think this is like a computer asking you to sign into something and just like prints a little name tag for you.
Okay.
Like
that makes
but a magical version.
Right.
Like I don't think it's actually a person.
Okay.
Is my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Because then we get inside and Harry notes how there's nobody at the security desk or anything. He's like, this is very ominous.
Yeah. Like, where are all the security guards? What happened to them?
Good.
Yeah.
The fun thing about the red phone booths, just because again, we just came back from London.
Yeah.
They've preserved a bunch of them because obviously like none of them are phone booths anymore.
Yeah.
But they have little historical plaques on them that says this phone booth is preserved by the Historical Society of blah, blah, blah. It's literally they're there to take pictures of.
That is so funny.
I was like, that's so cool.
Bob, I get lots of shoes if I go to London then.
Shoes?
Yeah. So
I don't see the tie there. I need help.
Bob used to tease me that phone booths didn't exist anymore. So he made a bet with me that anytime that I ever see a phone booth, he owes me a pair of shoes. Now, I haven't taken him up on it in a very long time. No, they don't have to be active. That was not part of the bet. He did not say that. Just if there's a phone booth. But yeah, so I don't really take him up on it, but it's still kind of a joke about it. Though I will say I learned how to use a phone booth for the very first time when I was 15 and got left in the middle of San Francisco on my own. I was with my choir, my church choir. We used to do like 3 week to a month long trips throughout the United States. And that year we did Colorado South through like Utah, Nevada, up California, through Oregon, Washington, over Montana, down Wyoming, that kind of stretch.
Like the trip.
Yeah, it's huge. And I went to the bathroom with everybody, but I ended up being the last person because we had one girl that was in a wheelchair. So I waited to make sure she got into into the wheelchair stall. And so I was the last one. And so I was waiting and they all left from the bathroom. Nobody noticed that I wasn't with them. And
did a head count.
I got it was a smaller group. So when you go to a city, you kind of broke up into specific groups. So there were only like 6 or 5 of us or whatever. Mm-hmm. And at that time, I didn't have my phone because I had given it to my brother's group because they didn't have a phone and our group had one with somebody else. And so I'd given my phone up and all this stuff. And I'm like wandering around all these people. I'm like, have you seen this group of, whoever? Nobody had seen them. And then I asked some random guy, how do you use a payphone? And he taught me how to call collect to my mom.
Oh my gosh.
And my mom called the leader and was like, why the hell is my daughter calling me collect from the middle of San Francisco saying she's lost? I was lost for like 2 hours. Nobody had found me. Yeah. I was always the problem child on those trips. But
yeah, you were.
Yeah. But yeah, payphones, they're nostalgic.
Funny. They are. They're a beautiful little piece of history.
Right. That no longer exists.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah. But so we go through all of the different elevators and everything that we have to go to. We get to the 9th floor. Again, it's quiet. He's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is where we're going. This is how my dream happened. Mm-hmm. But that's not actually how it works.
That's not reality.
His dreams skipped parts and bits and pieces.
So now we find out that the main part his dream missed was this fun bit that once you go through the first door, kind of the outside door, I'm going to call it, and you close it, you enter a room with 7 other doors. I think this was another reference to 7.
Was it 7? I thought it was... Okay, yeah, I don't remember.
I'll have to look it up.
Either way.
But as soon as you close the doors all spin so that intentionally you don't know where to go.
Which makes me wonder how people that work in there actually know what door they're supposed to go through. They're not going through and opening all the doors and closing them. That doesn't make sense.
Yes. Ooh. Sorry, buddy. My phone just fell over as I have the monitor up and someone shut the door. Does it say how many doors there are?
I thought it did, but
coming with you. Harry didn't take him up on it. They were standing in a large circular room. Everything in here is black, including the floor and the ceiling. Identical, unmarked, handleless black doors were all at intervals all around the black walls, interspersed with candles whose flames burned blue, cool, shimmering light reflected on the floor. Someone shut the door. Corridor behind it. It does not say how many doors there are.
Oh, okay, cool.
Fascinating. Yeah. Weird.
Interesting. Okay. Maybe it's a movieism instead of a book. Well, cool. Okay.
Definitely not a movieism.
Well, I find it interesting that they just start opening up all the doors and okay, let's go in okay, here's the other question is why are we going fully into the rooms? Couldn't we have just opened up the door and closed the door and then opened up another one before it started moving? You know what room you're looking for. Why are we going into them?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not a needed thing in the story. It should have just been a...
Also, there's how many of you? 6 of you?
Yeah.
Harry, Ron, Hermione, Neville, Ginny.
Luna?
Yep. Yeah. So there's 6 of you. Everyone turn and open the door.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Even if there's
more doors.
10 doors.
Yeah.
You're going to get close.
Right.
Somebody's bound to get the right one. If not, then let it spin and open 6 more doors.
Well, I think the reason that Harry wanted to open the doors himself is to kind of see which room it is, which I totally get. But on the other hand, why are we going into them? Just start in a circle, or have Hermione mark them like she does. Like, that was
really
a good
clever.
idea. Yeah,
That was a really clever idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, why are we going in them? Like, we're never going to see these rooms again, more than likely. No. So like, what's the purpose of going into this weird stone room with benches and a veil and a dice and all of this stuff? Like, what's the point?
Well, first we go into a room with tanks with brains, and I was like, I'm out.
Right? Like, what is the point of this? And the fact that Hermione's like, I wonder what they're doing with them. And I'm like, who cares what they're doing with them? Like, it's inappropriate.
Deuces.
Right? Exactly.
I'm gone. Exactly. I don't do this shit. I'm gone. Sorry, Harry, you're on your own. See
right?
Ya. Hermione, find me the right door.
Yeah, I don't know. I just was like, okay, this is just an added part of the story that doesn't need to be there. Like, we're never going to see these rooms again.
So what do you think is up with the archway?
I don't know, but they hear voices. Like, is it a portal to the old, like, ancient world of magic? I don't know. Like,
the ancient world of magic. I like it.
I mean, they do kind of make it sound like the old Colosseum, in Rome. Like,
it's true.
I don't know.
But it kind of goes through, like, it's almost like when you're home alone or like you're stuck somewhere in the dark and like, man, you get that weird feeling that's like somebody's here or I need to go check to make sure the front door's locked or one of those.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what Harry gets about this veil thing of like, I need to see what's on the other side. There's something happening here.
Yeah.
And then, he gets kind of like pulled into it. It's almost like he and then eventually Ginny and Neville.
Yeah. And like even Ron is like
trance.
But Hermione is the only one that couldn't or that didn't get into this trance or whatever and was the one to get them to leave finally.
Yeah. Hermione's the one that really, and Luna, because Luna can hear him.
Oh, yeah.
Harry and Luna can like quote unquote hear voices. And then finally says, let's go, says Hermione. On the other side, Ginny and Neville were staring, apparently entranced at the veil too. Without speaking, Hermione took Ginny's arms, Ron Neville's, and they marched out. So Ron seems fairly unaffected by it too.
Yeah. So do we ever find out what the deal is with that thing?
We learn a little bit more.
Oh, we do. So do we get to go back in that room again, or is there just a question to somebody later?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So we will get to go into one of the rooms again. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But we never figure out the brains.
But
we don't figure out the brains. Cool. Okay.
Again, I'm okay leaving the brains.
Yeah. Okay. So fourth room is the charm. Woo.
We finally get to there, and then it's noted everyone is, quote, serious and anxious once they have found the correct door, because they're all kind of curious, and it's kind of, they're a little witty, and like cautious, going through the other doors. But as soon as Harry's like, "This is it," everyone gets serious and quiet.
Yeah,
it's like the mood changes.
Right, it does. It definitely does. And then figuring out which way to go and everything, which aisle it's supposed to be.
It's like trying to find something in the grocery store that's just eluding you.
Right. Definitely.
So many aisles.
Right.
There's always peanut butter. I can never find peanut butter in any grocery store.
Really?
What aisle is that on? Is that with crackers?
Bread
is
aisle?
That bread?
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
Aisle.
Is that baking?
Wow. Okay. Okay.
I can never find freaking peanut butter.
That's why most people make other people shop and then bring it to you.
I just started doing that again.
Yeah, the pickups. My husband seems to think that we spend less money if I do the pickups. But that's no fun.
I mean, fair. Yeah. No, I did in 2020. Yeah. I did the Instacart groceries because, again, we had signed up for it when we found out Tim was deploying, because it was,
Right.
hey, you're single parenting a 2-year-old. Let's just take one thing off of your list. This is really easy.
Yep.
And it was great. And then it turned out to be even more great.
Right.
So I didn't have to drag a 2-year-old kicking and screaming in a mask to a grocery store.
Right.
And so, but then, that kind of died down, and we canceled our subscription and all that. And now we have the grocery store that's literally walking distance, not biking distance from our house. And so I haven't been able to justify it yet. But this week I flew back from London with both the kids by myself. My husband's on a business trip, so it continues. That's why we're remote tonight again. And I was looking around, I was like, I gotta get to the grocery store. Our fridge is empty. I was like, I do not have the energy or the time for this. It's like Instacart.
Right. Yep.
I was like, that was really nice.
Or like the quick pickup, like where you just schedule it and you go
just
and
drive
pick
through.
it up. Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get lazy and take advantage of this again. I also have a broken foot still. So
Yes.
I'm like, I'm not dragging 2 jet-lagged kids and myself on a broken foot through the grocery store.
Yep. Definitely.
So I will gladly pay somebody else to do that.
Right.
But anyway, so they're looking around, and Hermione's the first to say it, but like, Sirius doesn't appear to be there.
Nope.
Neither does Voldemort. Like, neither does anybody.
No.
There's no Snake.
There's nobody.
We don't have Nagini running around.
No, they find the right aisle. They go in, and I like how Harry is like, you can't see all the way to the end from here. Like, you're not going to be able to see them. Like, he is dead set that even though you can't hear anything, you don't see anybody, that like they just need to keep going. And they'll eventually be there. And I'm like, okay, well, did they leave? Like, did they disappear? Like, are they underneath an invisibility cloak, or was it an act to get Harry to come? Because like, it gets to a point where that he's supposed to be learning occlumency. So like, what is going on here? So I was like, is this a trap of some sort? Like, I have no idea. But then Harry's like running down all the other aisles, like, or down the end, looking down the other aisles, like, where are they? They're here, but they're not.
I just know it.
Right.
I definitely know the first time I read this, I felt like, oh shoot, Harry had a premonition. Like, he's a seer.
Right.
And,
yeah.
like, that's how this is going to get like turned on its head, is Sirius and the Snake and Voldemort or whoever else is like about to show up.
Right. Yeah.
And everything's going to come to a head with all these other kids there and everything. And like, that's definitely where I thought this was going the first time.
Yeah. And like, I thought more that like they're making him out to be crazy again. Like, something
is going to come jumping out any second.
Right. Like, something's going to happen, and they're trying to make it look like Harry is losing his mind again. Something like Fudge is like making all of this up or whatever, and Umbridge didn't really get taken, and like, either that or like Voldemort has Sirius hidden, they're hiding, and it's some sort of, like I said, a trap, because Voldemort knows that Harry can see all of these things, but yet like he needs whatever. So it's, I don't know.
It feels weird.
Yeah, it is weird. And it's also kind of written a little weird. It's written to make you question everything. Like, I literally have a bajillion questions just written down in a row. I'm just like, what is going on here? But like, then Ron is like looking at all the spheres in the row of 97, and he notices Harry's name.
That's where the next 7 was. That I was like, there's another 7.
Yeah, 97 is
that's where it was.
The aisle.
The doors.
But Ron sees the spear, the light.
The orb.
Yeah, with this written S.P.T.2, like T-O, A.P.W.B.D. And I'm just like, what? And then Dark Lord and in quotes, or in parentheses, question mark, Harry Potter. Like the Dark Lord and Harry Potter for this weird lighted sphere? Like, what?
I was going to ask if those initials mean anything yet.
So the initials don't quite mean anything to me yet. I've been staring at them for a while. I'm not quite sure. I was trying to figure out like the Lily part of things, and I haven't been able to figure that out. Like Lily, and then I was like, A for Arthur, and I was like, that's not his dad. And things like that. And so I was like, I don't quite get it. But the only thing I can think of is that it's similar to a pensieve for Harry and Voldemort's memory of like their original fight or something. But at that point, that's also really weird. Like, why would they do that? Like, because technically the Dark Lord dies with the fight. So I was like, okay, I don't know how that would happen. But no one else has a sphere. At least not in that aisle and not next to Harry's.
Nearby.
Yeah. So it's very possible that they do have a sphere. They just don't know where it is or what aisle it's in. Yeah, Olive is like
her watching your hand as you gesture back and forth holding the ball. She's like,
right, yeah. I'm playing fetch with Olive for those of you not watching. Because she is hyper. But yeah, I'm just like, nobody else has a sphere. Like, nothing else is going on. But they try to warn Harry not to touch it. And I want to say it's Ron at first that's like, no, don't touch it. But then it's Neville. So. And Neville is like, I almost feel like Neville knows something. Like, yeah. Like the way he says, no, Harry, don't, or whatever he says. It makes it almost feel like he knows what is in this sphere. But it's kind of like what Hermione does, like where she like has this thought and is like, oh, I've got to go do this thing right now. So then she runs away. It's kind of like when with that for Neville, I'm just like, shout it out before he like touches the dang thing. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I made a little note on this because Neville says, don't, Harry, says Neville suddenly. Harry looked around at him. Neville's face was shining slightly with sweat. He looked as though he could not take much more suspense. Poor Neville's about to snap.
Well, yeah, and it just kind of, like I said, it feels like he knows something about whatever this thing is or whatever. So I'm just like, why not say something? Like, he obviously paused. Yeah. Like, say whatever it is that you need to say. But of course, Harry doesn't. And he goes, but it's got my name on it. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Like, it's got your name on it. You're the star of the show. And now you touch things.
Name on it. Should you do that?
Right. Like, you're touching things that you probably shouldn't be. Come on, dude.
You're messing with things that ought not to be messed with.
Right.
We learned that from Hagrid in book 1. Come on.
Right. Like, we got a creature book at one point. Like, let's stop touching shit. Like, come on.
We got a creature book at one point.
Okay. So he touches it. He pulls it off. Now there's nothing happens, as in he's like, there's something that's gonna happen. Something. And then, dun, 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 we have somebody behind him.
And then from right behind him, a drawling voice says, very good, Potter. Now turn around nice and slowly and give that to me. Dun, dun, dun. Just what I wrote. Right. Dun, dun, dun. So who is it?
I have a couple of guesses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's Voldemort. I mean, it could be, but I don't think it is. I want to say Voldemort planted those thoughts because he knows Harry can see into his mind. I also I think it might be Fudge. Because part of me wonders if he's actually working with Voldemort. The other one I'm thinking is Snape. And the only reason I think Snape is because he is like trying to play
Somewhere
both
in
sides.
the middle.
Yeah, he's like playing both sides. So it's kind of like, well, if Snape gets this thing and then he pretends to give it to Voldemort, like he like makes a magical version of it that doesn't actually do the thing that it's supposed to, then maybe like he can get away with that. I don't know. Other than that, like a drawl voice that just like brings me to literally Snape. Or like I said, Fudge. If it's Voldemort, like he obviously knew that he needed Harry to touch this thing because he wasn't able to and nobody else could. So I don't know. I don't think it's Cyrus or Sirius. I don't think it's Sirius.
I mean, I think it's very serious, but I don't think it's serious.
I don't think it's serious. I can't think of any, unless there's somebody else that is playing the double card that is like Shacklebottom or I don't know.
Oh, Shacklebolts.
Yeah, Shacklebolts.
Mundungus. Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, like somebody that's kind of playing both sides. But yeah, or it could be Malfoy Senior.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he doesn't like Harry, so it could be that.
He's also someone who Voldemort would send out on an errand.
True. Yeah.
And same with, I mean, we haven't met, besides the graveyard, we haven't really met the parents yet, but Crab Goyle, like.
Yeah, but I don't think they're not big enough into the story to like really be a part of this portion of the narrative at this point, I don't think. Wait, who is that guy that Voldemort's like literally trying to beat?
Was trying to beat
Andrew? No, not Andrews. Atkin? No.
Oh.
In his in one of his visions. Starts with an A.
It starts with an A, yeah.
I don't want to say Aiden because I don't think that's right. I don't remember. Anyways, it could be that guy because like he's in a lot of trouble. And we think that guy died.
It could be him or another ministry worker who, again, is just under the Imperious Curse.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Part of me, though, suspects Fudge. I think that guy is just too greasy.
Could also still be under the Imperious Curse.
I doubt that. Like, come on. He's too
much of a politician.
I was going to say the same thing. Like a greasy politician.
We're done with politics.
I know, right? Okay, tell us that I can read the next page.
You can read the next page.
I'm about to see.
So next week,
yes,
chapter 35 and 36.
Okay.
Chapter 35, Beyond the Veil.
Okay, so we get to see what's in that room. Woohoo!
And chapter 36, The Only One He Ever Feared. Okay.
So before we say goodbye really quick, I'm only going to give a face impression. A face impression. Is it on the next page that we see? Who it is?
I can tell you.
Okay. We will see you guys here for 35 and 36. Bye.
As Christina goes and reads very quickly.
I know. Okay. I'm not saying it.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Oh my God. Thanks for joining us for this episode. If you had fun, please follow, download, and review this podcast on your preferred listening platform.
If you're ready for the next chapter, join the spoiler-free conversation on our Facebook group. Search You Haven't Read What? The podcast.
Or on Instagram and YouTube for exclusive videos and behind-the-scenes content. Have a great week.
And we'll catch you on the next page.